In this video, I'm doing a full reset before my next paycheck, closing out the last pay period, settling what I spent, and making sure I'm starting the next one with clarity instead of stress. This is the part of budgeting that doesn't always get shown, what happens after the spending, especially when things didn't go perfectly. I always start by writing down every expense from the last pay period, including how it was paid for, whether it was cash or credit card. This step isn't about judgment, it's just about awareness. I can't plan forward if I don't know exactly what happened. Here's where I highlight any categories that I went over what I originally had planned for. Overspending doesn't mean failure, but ignoring it is what causes problems. I don't normally have to pull the highlighter out, but in this particular pay cycle, I really struggled with all of the deals. So what I will be doing moving forward is setting aside some cash for any of the Black Friday deals that come up, because it seems inevitably I want to overspend this time of year. From there, I transfer everything to my cash and stuffing sheet and I break it down by credit card. This shows me exactly what needs to be paid back so that I can avoid carrying a balance on my credit card. This is so that I can make sure that I am carrying a zero balance and so that I don't go back into credit card debt. After I've pulled all of the cash out of their envelopes to pay back my credit card purchases, I count up the totals and make sure everything matches. When I budget my next paycheck, I don't pretend the overspending didn't happen. I plan for it intentionally and I adjust any categories so that it gets handled right away. And this is how I avoid going back into credit card debt. I face the facts and I adjust, and I account for it right away instead of letting the problem worsen. But let me be clear here. There is a difference between debt that happens to you and debt you choose to intentionally take with a plan. This next step is a newer part of my process. After I would create my budget, I would go through and pick out all of the denominations. But this time, what I do is I pick up my cash tray from the cash and stuffing and I look at the denominations that I have. And then I go through all of the categories that I have and decide how I want to use those denominations so that I can use up every dollar that I have. Then from there, I'll find out the difference in what I need to pull out of the bank. So it saves me that extra step of having to put money back into the bank to then just have to pull it out for my new budget. After I figured out all of the denominations that I do need, I then transfer it over to my bank teller slip. I've gotten so many compliments from the bankers. They absolutely love it and it makes their job super easy. It's linked down in my description below. I also wanted to talk about something that I've briefly hinted at, but I haven't really explained. I became consumer debt-free in July, but then I intentionally chose to take on car debt. That decision wasn't because my old car was falling apart. It is older, but more importantly, it lacked the safety features that would allow me to feel confident driving. A few years ago, I had a retinal detachment that resulted in me becoming legally blind. And that's a permanent part of my life right now, and it affects how I move through this world, including how I drive. Feeling safe matters, and having a car with modern safety features isn't a luxury for me. It's part of being able to function independently. This also felt like the right timing. Joe and I aren't actively pursuing other big financial goals right now, while he's still in debt. And I knew I could take this on intentionally and pay it off again, possibly even before he does. This wasn't about upgrading my lifestyle. It was about making a practical decision that fits this season of life. I'll be honest, I was a little bit nervous about this, especially with how hard things are right now in this economy. I never want to come across as being out of touch or insensitive, But this channel has always been about real life and intentional decisions, not perfection. Debt isn't automatically failure, it's about how and why you use it. For me, this was a planned choice with a clear payoff path, not something that erases the progress that I've made. This decision was not taken lightly, and I will go over the numbers in future videos, so stay tuned for that. This reset process is how I make sure decisions like that don't spiral. Every expense gets acknowledged, every adjustment gets planned for. I don't need perfection, I need a system that works in real life. If you're in a season where budgeting feels messy or imperfect, I hope this shows that progress doesn't require everything to go right. It just requires honesty, intention, and a plan to move forward. Thanks for being here.